The most bizarre mutant freak election continues in 2024. And as if things hadn't already got complicated enough, AI is starting to be a problem. Deepfakes, voice clones, these things where you can make it sound like people said things that they didn't say, where you can mimic the voice of a real person, or you can even do it even more complex in video form. Hasn't really thrown a huge monkey wrench into things this year. I mean, we've been more talking about felony convictions and dementia symptoms, but there's no doubt that on a long enough time scale, this is going to be a problem. My next guest here to talk about it with me, Scott Baradell, is back on the James Show from the Idea Grove. And deep fakes and artificial intelligence, I mean, are these things destined to foul up some election?
Absolutely. I mean, you could argue that the predecessor of this was so-called fake news back in the 2016 elections, where millions of people shared stories like the Pope endorsing Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton selling weapons to ISIS, things like that. These were shared. This was all over Facebook. Now we've gotten more and more visual and just away from news altogether, and looking at our Instagram and TikTok feeds and seeing images, and we tend to believe them. So there are a lot of people are scared about how it's going to affect the election. That's for sure. Now,
personally speaking, I'm pretty sure I've had some robocalls from an AI-generated voice where they make it sound like Biden, or I forgot who it was that I got it from, but it made it sound like, hey, we're having a fundraiser, and we like to ask all our patriots out there to if you could chip in $10 to help us before some deadline or whatever. I guess it's already showing up.
Well, absolutely. You know, they recently had in New Hampshire before the primaries, robo calls of AI-generated Joe Biden telling people not to go out and vote. So, and it can be hard to trace the sources of those robocalls, and they've been used for dirty politics on both sides for a long time. But, yeah, expect to see more of it. In fact, what's funny is you mentioned how crazy this election is. Some people are concerned that there'll be deep fake videos of Joe Biden acting, you know, like he knows what's going like he knows what's going on. You know, they'll make him articulate in a video as opposed to a video that makes someone seem like they don't know what they're doing.
Well, I found the super irony is that the sister term to deep fake became cheap fakes, which was actually a fake scandal because those weren't fakes at all, and it turned out that was a real issue. And so the pretend version, cheap fakes, actually had a bigger impact than deep fakes.
Well, yeah, it's such a confusing environment for people. They are not sure what's real and what's not, and unfortunately, compared to in the past, you're just got to do a lot more work to figure out what you're looking at and whether it can be trusted.
Right. And, you know, I think that there's just going to be, along with the evolution of people using deep fakes, there's going to be the evolution of people who can spot and expose deep fakes, or if you're not sure if something is real or a fake, there's going to be a service to be able to tell the difference. You know, you could probably put it through some Adobe Premiere filter or something and see if that's a legit video or not. And so I think the ability to discern will come along with the deep fakes.
Yeah, it's already doing so. That's certainly been true with checking for plagiarism with Gen AI produced content and things. But for deepfakes in particular, there are tools like Deepfake Scanner, which you can Google that to look it up. And basically, you can put any URL of something you've seen, and it will tell you whether it's fake or not, or give you a pretty good idea of the chances of it being fake. Microsoft has a similar tool, and there are others out there. So it's certainly AI is kind of being used to battle AI here.
Well, and I also think there's going to be a good side to this. We like to focus on the negative, but like if I were to run for office and someone wanted to vet me and know where I stood on positions, there's not a human being that can sit down and watch all 3-hour shows that I've done over the last 2 decades. But an AI could probably crank through that real fast and find some good quotes or some concerning opinions that I've taken in the past and actually help us be more informed. I think there's a good side to this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's a lot of focus on the fact that AI produces what are called hallucinations or kind of non-factual statements that are presented as fact. That certainly comes out in ChatGPT and other Gen AI results. But, there's a lot of good stuff in there, too. And on balance, the value of the content coming out of AI queries outweighs the bad.
All right, tell them where they can find you outside the show, Scott.
Well, our company is Idea Growth, and you can find us at ideagrowth.com.
Simple enough. Scott Baradell on The James Show again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.